guys, it's Izzy here, and today I'm going to be showing you all of the romance books that are on my TBR. Since the next book I'm going to be reading is quite a popular romance, I just wanted to show you guys all the different ones that I plan to read in the future. Alright, so I should have said that these are all the ones that I own that are on my TBR. I'm looking over there to see if any are right there. So we're going to start with the oldest of my TBR, which is actually the one I'm going to be reading next, and going to the newest. So some of these I feel like I don't even have to describe. We're going to be reading literally the synopsises that Goodreads has. So the first one is literally right next to me. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and that is the name of the series. This is book one in the series. It is by Jenny Han. I'm extremely nervous for this because this is so popular. As y'all could see on the cover, it's a Netflix movie, and if you have not heard that, where have you been? I feel like I'm not gonna like it. I don't really like contemporary romance. When this was added to my TBR on June 13th, which that's not right, that's when I added all the books into Goodreads. Yeah, I thought I might, but here we are in the future. I don't think I'll like it, but here's the description. To All the Boys I Loved Before is the story of Laura Jean, who has never openly admitted her crushes, but instead wrote each boy a letter about how she felt, sealed it, and hid it in a box under her bed. But one day Laura Jean discovers that somehow her secret box of letters has been mailed, causing all her crushes from her past to confront her about the letters. Her first kiss, the boy from summer camp, even her sister's ex-boyfriend Josh. As she learns to deal with her past loves face to face, Laura Jean discovers something good may come out of these letters after all. So that is a very interesting premise, but again, I don't really like modern contemporary romances, so we will just have to see. And I think it's YA. I would say it's YA, but I don't know. So the next one is right there. It's actually by my favorite author, so it's more of an exciting one for me, and that is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. This is the first book in the Firefly Lane series, so let's see what its synopsis is. Whoa, it's a long one. So we're actually kind of getting my reactions to this stuff because I added them into my TBR so long ago. So, from the New York Times best-selling author of On Mystic Lake comes a powerful novel of love, loss, and the magic of friendship. In the turbulent summer of 1974, Kate Malarkey has accepted her place at the bottom of the 8th grade social food chain. Same. Then to her amazement, the coolest girl in the world moves in across the street and wants to be her friend. Telly Hart seems to have it all. Beauty, brains, ambition. On the surface they are as opposite as two people can be. Kate doomed to be forever uncool with a loving family who mortifies her at every turn. Telly steeped in glamour and mystery, but with a secret that is destroying her. They make a pact to be best friends forever. By summer's end, they've become Telly and Kate, inseparable. So begins Kristen Hanna's magnificent new novel, spanning for more than 3 decades and playing out across the ever-changing face of the Pacific Northwest. Firefly Lane is the, I can never pronounce that word, Pognet? That doesn't sound right. Powerful story of 2 women and the friendship that becomes the bulkhead of their lives. From the beginning, see, it just goes on and on. Like, we don't need to know all that, but why not? From the beginning, Telly is desperate to prove her worth to the world. Abandoned by her mother at an early age, she longs to be loved unconditionally. In the glittering, big hair era of the 80s, I wish I was there, she looks to men to fill a void in her soul. But in the button-down 90s, it is television news that captivates her. She'll follow her own blind ambition to New York and around the globe, finding fame and success and loneliness. Kate knows early on that her life will be nothing special. Throughout college, she pretends to be driven by a need for success. But all she really wants is to fall in love and have children and live an ordinary life. Not me. In her own quiet way, Kate is as driven as Telly. When she doesn't know is how being a wife and mother will change her, how she'll lose sight of who she once was and what she once wanted, and how much she'll envy her famous best friend. For 30 years, Telly and Kate buoy each other through life, weathering the storms of friendship, jealousy, anger, hurt, resentment. They think they've survived it all until a single act of betrayal tears them apart and puts their courage and friendship to the ultimate test. And this like sentence is why I continued reading this to y'all. I lost my spot. Firefly Lane is for anyone who ever drank Boone's Farm apple wine while listening to ABBA or Fleetwood Mac. I love ABBA and Fleetwood Mac. More than a coming-of-age novel, it's a story of a generation of women who were both blessed and cursed by choices. It's about promises and secrets and betrayals, and ultimately about the one person who really truly knows you and knows what has the power to hurt you and heal you. Firefly Lane is a story you'll never forget, one you'll want to pass on to your best friend, so that sounds like a 5-star read. We had like 80s, 70s fame and all that mentioned in Pacific Northwest. Like, give it to me. So our next one is The Peacock Emporium by Jojo Moyes. She's not American. Just studied at the University of London, but it says translator was Claire Olive. I don't know what that's about. So let's see. From the #1 New York Times bestselling author Jojo Moyes, who I'm probably saying the name wrong, the story of a young woman who finds new meaning in life after opening an electric, it's not electric, but y'all know, and comes to terms with the secrets of her past in the 60s. Athene Forrester was the most glamorous girl of her generation. Nicknamed the Last Deb, she was also beautiful, spoiled, and out of control. When she agreed to marry the gorgeous young heir Douglas Fairley Holme, her parents breathed a sigh of relief, but within 2 years, rumors had begun to circulate about Athene's affair with the young salesman. 35 years later, Susanna Peacock is struggling with her notorious mother's legacy. The only place Susanna finds comfort is in the Peacock Emporium and the beautiful coffee bar and shop she opens that enchants her little town. There, she makes perhaps the first real friend of her life, including Alejandro, a male midwife escaping his own ghost in Argentina. The spectator of her mother still haunts her, but only by confronting both her family and her innermost self will she finally reckon with the past and discover that the key to her history and her happiness may have been in front of her all along. So I got that book at Target on a whim. It's 60s, wasn't it? And like multi-timelines, which is one of my favorite tropes. So the next book is one that is a movie, and they are making a show out of it. And Rose Leslie, is that her name? Kit Harington's wife, Ygritte on Game of Thrones, is going to be the female lead. And was it Theo James is going to be the male lead? Maybe. I don't know. But The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffinger. I can't pronounce names. A funny, often poignant, or whatever, tale again, of boy meets girl with a twist. What if one of them couldn't stop slipping in and out of time? I love time travel. Give me time travel books. Highly original and imaginative, this debut novel raises questions about life, love, and the effects of time on relationships. Audrey Niffinger's I don't know that word. Innovative debut, The Time Traveler's Wife, is the story of Claire. Oh my gosh, is this Outlander? No. A beautiful art student, and Henry, an adventuresome librarian, who have known each other since Claire was 6 and Henry was 36, and were married when Claire was 23 and Henry 31. Impossible but true, because Henry is one of the people diagnosed with chronodisplacement disorder. Periodically, his genetic clock resets, and he finds himself misplaced in time, pulled to moments of emotional gravity in his life, past and future. His disappearances are spontaneous, his experiences unpredictable, alternately harrowing and amusing. The Time Traveler's Wife depicts the effects of time travel on Henry and Claire's marriage and their passionate love for each other as the story unfolds from both point of views. Claire and Henry attempt to live normal lives, pursuing familiar goals, steady jobs, good friends, children of their own, all of this threatened by something they can neither prevent nor control, making their story intensely moving and entirely unforgettable. Yeah, that sounds crazy. Like, I don't get it. So I would have to read to understand. So the next book is somewhere in this stack. No, I moved it. I got for Christmas, and this is The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abby Waxman. And again, another long description. The only child of a single mother, Nina has her life just as she wants it. A job in a bookstore, a kick-butt trivia team, a world-class planner, and a cat named Phil. As she sometimes suspects there might be more to life than reading, she just shrugs and picks up a new book. When the father Nina never knew existed suddenly dies, leaving behind innumerable sisters, brothers, nieces, nephews, Nina is horrified. They all live close by. They're all, or mostly all, excited to meet her. She'll have to speak to strangers. It's a disaster. Oh my gosh. And if that wasn't enough, Tom, her trivia nemesis, has turned out to be cute, funny, and deeply interested in getting to know her. He's going to be one of the family members. I don't know that, but that's my theory. Doesn't he realize what a terrible idea that is? Nina considers her options. 1, completely change her name and appearance. Too drastic, plus she likes her hair. 2, flee to a deserted island. Hard pass. See coffee. 3, hide in the corner of her apartment and rock back and forth. Already doing it. It's time for Nina to come out of her comfortable shell, but she isn't convinced real life could ever live up to fiction. It's going to take a brand new family, a persistent suitor, and the combined effects of ice cream and trivia to make her own fresh page. Y'all, there's so many books. So I'm not going to read the description for all of them because it's a lot. The next one is The Key to Happily Ever After by Tiff Marcello. The Judas Kiss, and that's a contemporary. Then we have a historical that came out in literally 1986. The Judas Kiss by Victoria Holt. Then we have a historical romance that came out in 2019, and it's Bringing Down the Duke, A League of Extraordinary Women, Book 1, and that's by Evie Dunmore. And then we have one that I bought, didn't knowing it was the 10th book in the series, but I have read the first book since then, so, but this, I own this. It's The Cajun Doctor, number 9 in the Cajun series by Sandra Hill. We have White Fur by Jardine Libert, which is a historical, it's in like the 80s. We have Get a Life, Chloe Brown, The Brown Sisters, Book 1 by Talia Hibbert. Very popular. The camera just cut off and it scared me so bad, but okay. Then we have 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, which she is also an author for me. Then this one takes place in Italy, so I had to get it because I love Italy, and it's The Star-Crossed Sisters of Tuscany by Laurie Nelson Spillman. Then we have The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce, which I think is it in the 80s? I don't know, but the cover looks 80s. Then we have a book that I bought, the second book in a series, and if I knew it was in this series, I wouldn't have bought it because I have no interest in reading it, but it's Find Me and the Call Me By Your Name series, Book 2 by Audrey Waxman. That's probably not right, but it's, again, in Italy. And then the next one is a historical one, and that is These Old Shades in the Ulster and Audley series. It's book number 1 by Georgette Heyer. Then we have Years by Lavelle Spencer. It takes place in the early 20th century, which is a time period I'm fascinated with right now. And my most recent one is a new release that came out in January, and it is My Highland Warrior. Warriors of the Highlands is the series. It's book 1 by Miriam Minger. Those are all the romance books that I own, all the romance books that are on my TBR, because if I own them, they're on my TBR. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video right here on this channel. Ring that notification bell if you want to be one of the first to know when I upload a video. Yeah, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye!